Well, how much can 1.5 sessions make in a difference? Because
50 overs, about.
55 overs. In 55 overs from 84 for 5, when you had England by the scruff of their neck, you have now conceded 355. With the Harry Brook, Jamie Smith partnership, now 271 runs. Harry Brook is on 140, Jamie Smith is on 157. And boy, oh boy, no wickets lost in this session at all. And because of that, when you look at this current situation, India, whatever advantage they might have wanted, whatever is the advantage of maybe getting a lead in excess of 240, 250, that has evaporated. You are seeing India at max, best case scenario, get a lead of 150 plus.
I think the word that was used in Leeds, it's going to be the similar word that we'll use again, toothless bowling. That has to be the case.
Didn't we know that?
How many times, we are really going to discuss about the fact that the ball has gotten softer, it has gotten easy for batting, but despite all the conditions, Indian bowlers are well equipped. Prasidh Krishna, I think, has disappointed the most here, to say the least about him. He is not a youngster, he is a seasoned campaigner in the domestic red ball cricket of India, and the way he has gone about his work, I think it's very surprising. I just fail to understand that why is it very difficult for him to adjust to a length here. Even if that's the case, then you can always try variations. I've been saying this point time and again now from the first test. When you know that the pitch is not doing anything, why don't you try something else? That's clearly lacking.
And especially he can definitely utilize his height. I've not seen him bowl too many short pitch deliveries. I think he's still searching that right length, and I think that is something that he does not need to certainly do it as of now. He does not need to do it in this very game. He can go to the other plan and power back to what are his strengths. He can attack constantly on the short pitch delivery. I remember Washington Sundar was again and again by Bryden Cars and Josh Tongue, both of them again and again were bowling short pitch delivery to Washington Sundar, attacking, eventually getting him out over there, not getting him out but creating a couple of chances, 1-4 that went, and then he smacked it for a 6, but that was their plan. So Prasidh Krishna, even I'm understanding that he's not able to find the right lens and he wants to adjust. He does not need to do that in the game because that is costing India a lot.
See, in this spell, 5 overs, 11 runs. 8 overs for 61 he had bowled, but then he did not look threatening at all. In fact, none of the bowlers looked threatening. Whatever was the juice, whatever was the zip that you had with the new ball, it's gone. It is gone now, and you have had 55 overs of toil. 20 overs, 77. After that, 21.3. But then after that, from 22 till 75, 5 overs are left for the new ball. That is the only hope for India to break this partnership. That might happen. But you were staring at a colossal lead. You can still get it provided the last 5 wickets fold up for 20-30 runs in that sense. Yeah. But do I see that happening?
This is not the Indian tail, no?
But do I see that happening?
Did you just think that it's the Indian tail?
That's what I said. If it happens. But we know that the England tail is far more resilient, the likes of Chris Woakes in particular.
Chris Woakes once batted at number 3 for England in an ODI, and it has happened on multiple occasions in other formats too.
And now I'm really eager to see what Shubman Gill does, because last game we saw Shubman Gill go back to the defence and that plan sort of did not really work. Now what is Shubman Gill going to do? I think that is going to be very interesting.
The problem is, I'll tell you what. In Leeds, he allowed the game to drift. That's why the lower order managed to get those runs. He had a Bumrah, but then he had to utilize him very well. But then what were the fields that he had to set? Here, he just opened the field up. He allowed the singles to be had. He wanted to dry up the boundaries, thinking that England would be frustrated and they would hit out, but that didn't happen. He opened the field up. He didn't get support from the bowlers. Nitish Reddy, again, military medium. He's at least, again, now it'll be interesting. Shardul got 6 overs in the first innings in Leeds. Here, Nitish has gotten 6 overs. Will he bowl one more? I don't think so. Whatever Nitish offered with the ball was a novelty. It was like, okay, a bonus. If it happens, it happens. But yes, catching yet again. A catch was dropped. Rishabh Pant dropped the catch of, if I'm not mistaken, Jamie Smith, I think, was dropped.
It wasn't.
But as a keeper, for his standard, for his international exposure, he should have taken that catch. Because you already saw how India were hurt 165 runs by one individual. By Yashasvi Jaiswal's own drops. Here, the whole session's gone wicketless. And for the first time, outright dominance in one session by England. Now, the partnership is staring close to 300. This is already the best partnership ever in Edgbaston. Ever. Brook is the guy who can play a long innings. He has a triple hundred. Your only chance now is with the new ball.
Which is going to be due in 5
overs time. But then, new ball in this particular stage, 2 set batters. At that time, you had 2 fresh batters. Is it going to help?
It definitely will, because if the ball, it will be a hard ball, it will travel even quicker. So in that sense.
But the pitch of day 2 and the first hour is now totally different from the constant beating that the sun has given to the pitch. You're not seeing that much of bounce anymore. Whatever you're hitting in those areas, sometimes this is occasional. Maybe it is hitting a crack, maybe it is doing something. But you see how they're negotiating the bounce. Brook is either playing it too late with an angled bat, trying to steer it. Jamie Smith is also doing the same thing. Smith and Brook are now unfurling the reverse as well. Now this last wicket pair has, recognized batting pair. It's ensured that whatever advantage India would be thinking, I'm assuming the tail chips in another 100 runs. A lead of less than 100. You have eaten up time, but you have also ensured India will now have to go for the jugular.
And now England has really done it very, very quickly. I think we were talking about this yesterday when that 1 hour was left when England was supposed to bat. And we realized that maybe if today, by the end of the day, they reach close to India's total, that's about leaving about 100, 150 runs to trail. I think they will find themselves in a very good position. Yesterday, you made a hypothetical situation where you would said that they'd want to bat on the first few hours of day 4. Then if it's going, if it continues to go like this, there could be a very big possibility that they end up batting till tomorrow, first few hours of tomorrow's day's play. Then maybe till then India will have to restart and again get those runs on the board and put sufficient runs on the board as a target for England to chase down on the last day. And we have seen, if I'm not wrong, 4 times England has conceded 500 plus runs in the first innings, and they've won 3. And this is the 4th occasion, if I'm not wrong.
Maybe. I have to check that. I don't know at this stage. But then see, India's bowlers really struggled. Just some wickets, if you saw some deliveries by Jadeja, they're starting to grip. But it is slow grip. Because Jadeja bowls it quickly, darts it, and he gets that extra bit of bounce and turn. But Sundar hasn't inspired confidence at all. 11 overs for 65. Nitish Reddy, Ravindra Jadeja. In fact, Jadeja has been, I'm sorry, with the ball, very harsh, but he's underwhelmed with the ball.
He has
in 2 tests.
And you don't have to be sorry at all. I think in the last 5 test matches almost, his batting average has still been pretty good, but the Jadeja, the bowler, has been pretty underwhelming to say the least.
Yep.
And this is one sign that really worries me, and I'm not sure why India are not learning from this. I can understand that, the things can really still change in the last session. After the end of first session, we said that, you said that, it's 70-30 in favor of India. I said it's 80-20. And I think also Shashwat also said that, India are still in an advantageous position. After what has really happened, I still expect India to make to bounce back in the 3rd session. But why India haven't learned from the mistakes that they committed in the Border Gavaskar Trophy is something that I really fail to understand. Nitish Kumar Reddy is not a bowler. He's not a bowling all-rounder. He's a batting all-rounder. That's where when Shardul Thakur, he got some kind of rhythm in the first test. You left him out. He did not really do well with the bat, but that's happened with the many batters, who have toured England maybe for the first time or the first time in a long time. They haven't scored. You talk about Washington Sundar. Once again, he did well with the bat, but with ball, when it came down to that situation, when you needed some wickets, Sundar once again has failed to deliver. I don't know. Like, it's not really their fault. It's basically the fault of the management here that they are not understanding from their learning.
There are two confusions here. Who is Nitish Kumar Reddy? Batter or bowler? Who is Washington Sundar? A batter or a bowler?
I have a clear answer to both the questions. Both are batters.
So you're already playing
Who can
two
bowl a
people
bit?
because of the batting, and then Jadeja also you're playing because of the same reason. Because Jadeja also with the ball has been underwhelming. It's been quite a while now.
Jadeja in Sena has been underwhelming.
No, he just had he had a decent series with the ball during that home series of England.
Home series, but no, I'm talking about in Sena countries. See, in South Africa, in one series he did well, but that was about a decade back. Okay.
It took, I think, 6
wickets.
or 7 wickets.
Durban.
Jack Callis's last match.
Durban, yeah. England, I don't know when was the last time he had a major impact with the ball in England. Major impact. I can't, maybe 2018 we had some instances, but.
No. 2018 was all about the Indian pacers.
Yeah. 2021 also, I'm not so sure. See, with the bat, he's done well, but I don't know with the ball. Maybe in the WTC final of 2023, he had some wickets, Jadeja, but see, combined, India have so far taken 20 wickets, but across 3 innings. 10 in the first innings, 5 in the second innings in Leeds, now 5 here. And I don't know how on earth are they going to address this particular situation, because what are your backups? You have 2 backups, 2 match winners, but you don't want to play them under the garb of one, workload management, and what wrong has Kuldeep done? Honestly, what wrong has he done? This was the best time to play a Jasprit Bumrah, because who knows, he would have taken the, maybe, if I look at the flattest of flat decks in India, he would have nailed a Yorker.
I'm saying even if you weren't able to play Jasprit Bumrah because of the fitness thing, you could have played Kuldeep Yadav easily. He's somebody who could have extracted something at least on this wicket, and England would have absolutely had no answers to a bowler like Kuldeep Yadav.
See, as I've always mentioned, on day one, there is a reason why wrist spinners have troubled England. A certain Shane Warne would testify to that. A certain, if you have to look at other wrist spinners, Kuldeep also troubled them in the India series, right?
Even in the most swinging conditions, Shane Warne managed to pick up more than 30 odd wickets in an Ashes series. And I'm talking about 2005, about 2 decades back.
That was his brilliance, that was his genius. But then see here, this Indian bowling lineup, we were always concerned that whether they would take 20 wickets. It's now been proven that it will be a big toil for them. See, there is still 2 more innings after this, and we have already almost on the culmination of day 3. You had asked me, no, which is that session which might ensure whether this test is a draw, a loss, or a game, or a win. I stand by it. India's advantage is whittled away.
No, absolutely. I understand that, India have lost their super advantageous position, but even if
advantage,
it's
232.
See, if England, if they can manage to get them bundled out for another, say, 70 or 80 odd runs, then it's still advantage India. 150 odd runs, you know that you have to score about 300 odd runs in the third innings to make sure that England are being set a stiff total. I think that's going to be fine. And more importantly, the odd ball that is turning that you mentioned about, I think it's going to get a little more slower, and maybe the role of Sundar and Jadeja might just prove to be a lot more handy on the last 2 days of the match. Weather was also a concern in the Leeds test, but then
not really. Weather wasn't a concern in Leeds,
but on the last couple of days there was rain predicted, and it did happen.
Yeah, but let's see today. See, the beating that the sun has taken, it's only going to make the pitch even more dead. See, it may be dry, but it is dead. So that is why any kind of bounce, pace, it's only in the first 1 hour with that new ball. After that, it's all up to the elements. If you can get cloud cover totally, then yes, it'll be great. But from 84 for 5 to win 355 for 5, it represents England's resilience also, that yes, okay, Brook and Smith, I think the commentators were waxing lyrical about the way Jamie Smith played. I think if this test match is to be saved, then England have to thank Jamie Smith in a big way. I think I read his control percentage was 95%.
Even Harry Brook, I think all that buzz and everything, he was very highly rated, but he needed to step up. Till now, he hadn't. He'd only gotten big runs in Pakistan, but apart from that, there were question marks over him as well. But he too, in the last 2 test matches now, has really stepped up and shown that why is he backed this much by the England setup.
Well, he's lucky he's got no Bumrah. Because Bumrah made him look very, very amateurish in that Leeds game. I mean, see, he did hit 99, but after how many? 4 chances? 3 chances? Which is why. See, his main test will be November, December, Ashes. If Brook can't do well in the Ashes, then he's only a flat track bully. Yep. And that will stick with him, and that won't go away because the English will be unforgiving if you don't do well in Australia for all the hype that you've got. So, I don't know if this is an ideal kind of a warm-up that what a certain former England spinner had, but I am sorry, it's still advantage India, let us be very honest about it, but it is not super advantageous.
As I said, earlier you were about 338 odd runs, and I think have to credit England for their maturity also. You did not really went for your shots completely in the second session, made sure that you held your time. By that logic, 100 odd runs in this session without a wicket is still a great thing that England have done. So let's see how things go. Let's maybe take a couple of comments before we wrap things up.
Indeed. So it is really tough. I don't know how our family members are going to react by it, and that is what Deepak Yadav was saying. This is how Root scored 20 hundreds under Baseball era. Root and Brook top 2 in ranking because of this. If day 5 is flat and always chasing team winning, chasing 350 plus, then it is bad for cricket.
I think one thing that I'm going to add to what Deepak Yadav has said here, I think it's not just the hundreds that Root has scored in England conditions. He has been pretty good across the globe.
Except Australia.
Yeah, even in Australia, he may not have gotten 100, but he has scored about 8 to 10 odd 50s there. That is still a good thing to do.
Let me be very honest. See, Root has way more runs, okay, than the Fab Four. But for me, the greatest test batsman in this era is Steve Smith.
Hands down, +1 to what you're saying.
Because he's gotten runs in every kind of conditions. Be it spinning decks in India, be it seaming conditions in England, be it West Indies in the past. Okay, now he's not gotten runs in the first innings. But South Africa also he's gotten runs. Everywhere you go, he's gotten runs. That's why Steve Smith is the GOAT of tests. Then I would say second is Joe Root, followed by Kane Williamson. But again, Kane doesn't have a great record. I would say I'll get Virat to 3. Williamson's 4.
But Kane Williamson all throughout the era, he has been very consistent. He's never really peaked the way a Steve Smith, Virat Kohli and Joe Root have. But Kane Williamson has always been very consistent.
Kane Williamson has been top class at home, but
I know that is what
pathetic away from home in most conditions.
It pains me to say that I love Kane Williamson, but I can't escape this.
I think it's pathetic is the right
word. He doesn't have a great record in Australia. Has a horrible record in South Africa and England. So, and India also. He doesn't have a great record in India. So, that's why I would say Williamson is the laggard of the Fab Four in that sense. And Kohli is third, Root is second, Smith is in that sense. It's like Rahul Dravid Vinod. This game reminds me of McCullum 302 game. India cruising for innings win after picking 5 for 90. Then the Bass Storm wiped out everything and made India to play for survival. Don't be surprised what happens here.
I think it does look like, the last session will be an answer to what Rahul Dravid is saying here. Mr. Creator. And this could be the last comment before we wrap things up. He's not happy with Sundar and Jadeja's bowling. He feels it's completely rubbish.
Yeah, they were 5 for 84 even there also in Wellington. And guess what? What was the turning point of the game? If you would remember, I think you would also remember that.
Kohli dropped a catch, no?
On 9.
Yeah.
He dropped McCullum on 9 of Shami at silly mid-on. And McCullum played possessed cricket. And 302.
Even Jimmy Neesham also scored 100. It was his debut.
He scored 137. But more than Neesham, it was BJ Watling. They shared a 365 run stand. Then Neesham and McCullum batted they all batted for 2.5 days. 84 for 5, 680. And India had to bat for survival then. So, Yeah, it's not looking good. Let's see how that happens. Now we have got 2.5 hours of the final session to come.
35 overs.
35 overs. You're not finishing at 10:30. You're definitely not finishing at that time. And that is why 5 overs to go for the new ball. Can India make some inroads with that and ensure India's lead is at least over 150? That we'll have to find out. But it's not going to happen, I look like it, because the pitch looks really like a pancake. And the bounce and pace, what you look at Akashdeep and Siraj, even if they concede over 5 runs and over and a spell for 8-9 overs, then I think you're in trouble. You're in real trouble. The second new ball is the only hope for India. Let's see. So, gents, you see England batting through the session?
Yeah, my prediction is 500 for 8.
500 for 8?
Yeah.
That means they are scoring 167 runs and 145 runs in the session.
I see them bundling out.
For?
I'm going for
80 more runs.
About 420, 430.
130 runs lead.
I'm going for 440 all out.
Okay.
But again, that is all a miracle if I have to look at it, provided the England tail doesn't wag. So, yeah, but that's a very optimistic thing that I'm putting out. I think your thing is more closer to the reality one, 500 for 8. Looks, but it's 500 for 8, then there is no advantage.
I think you guys also make sense because the point is that the new ball is going to be due.
Yeah.
So that's the point. India can actually make inroads.
Correct. So let's see. Washington Sundar is opening the bowling. Let's see how that goes. So thank you so much, folks. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis.